There are new allegations now of a high-level cover-up over the events leading to the deadly terrorist attack in Benghazi, Libya. Senate Minority Whip Jon Kyl making that suggestion yesterday on the talk shows.
I think there are three questions that have to be answered. Why weren't the warnings about the need for security heeded? Why weren't the requests for help during the terrorist attack answered? And why did the administration think it had to cover up all of the things that occurred before by putting out to the American people a narrative that I think will turn out to be absolutely false?
Three critical questions there. Katie McFarland is our Fox News national security analyst, and good morning, to you. Is Senator Kyl onto something there? Any questions?
Spot on. They've lied throughout. They denied security requests prior to. They denied requests for reinforcements during the attack, and they've continued to cover up about it. Now, the question is, they've had so many different stories that you don't know what happened. Now, the question I then have is not what happened, why did it happen? Why did they feel they had to cover up from the very beginning? Because I think their entire Middle East policy has turned out to be an abject failure.
Well, if that were the case, then that would have to be a decision that was made in the early hours of this attack in Benghazi. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Now, here's why. Here's the mindset that they had going into this. Everything that George Bush did, the Obama administration said, we'll do the opposite. If George Bush led from the front, we'll lead from behind. George Bush went in on the ground in Iraq, we're going to go in from the air in Libya. George Bush used contractors to provide security. We're going to use those Libyan guys to provide security in Libya. The problem was the Libyans weren't up to the job. The administration has looked at all these countries. They've helped topple dictators. Now, they were dictators, but they were pro-American dictators, and they'd kept the peace with Israel for 40 years. What are you now seeing in its place? You're seeing country after country either in chaos or electing anti-American, anti-Islam, Islamist Muslim Brotherhood leaders.
So then what you're arguing is that they took all these decisions and flipped them on their head, 180-degree turn.
Yeah.
How's that working out?
Well, it's not working out real well for them, but I think they've gotten away with it so far. You know, the calls for what really happened in Benghazi, you know, you and Fox News have been carrying out the call, but no other mainstream media has really paid attention. They didn't even pay attention until it became a sex scandal with David Petraeus. Then everybody paid attention a little bit, but mostly about the sex scandal. Now, here we are, 10 weeks later. We still don't have any explanation of what happened or why it happened or who did it. Ultimately, there will be hearings. Ultimately, people will come forward and you will know what really happened. But will it be too late? I don't know. To me, the bigger question is, why is the Middle East now in flames?
Okay, and it's a regional question that you say has changed entirely. And what you would argue is that we're on the road to losing the entire Middle East.
The president has said we want to pivot to Asia. We're getting out of the Middle East. We've gotten out of Iraq. We still have bases there, but slowly but surely we're withdrawing from that part of the world. Now, what is taking our place? All the countries that had relied on us and said, well, we've got America to back us up, they're all going to start making accommodations. They're going to accommodate to the growing regional power, which is Iran, and they're going to worry about the Muslim Brotherhood in their own countries. Just watch. Jordan will be next.
Jordan next.
Jordan.
Amman, Jordan?
Amman, Jordan, a monarchy, a country that has had a peace agreement with Israel. They have a Muslim Brotherhood very active in Jordan, and there are now protests against the king.
Well, it is true. There is a power vacuum in that region of the world. Back here, though, Senator McCain was talking about Susan Rice.
Yes.
And he is suggesting now that she should testify because we need to hear her out. Now, some have parsed that and suggested he has softened his language. Do you see it that way?
No, I think what he really wants to do is get Susan Rice in confirmation hearings, because if she has confirmation hearings, what's the first question they're going to ask you? Who gave you those talking points? Who rewrote the CIA memos? She'll be under oath. She'll have to tell the truth.
But does it stop with Susan Rice? Because Lindsey Graham was out yesterday saying, I blame the president above everybody else for what happened in Libya.
I think what the administration wants to avoid is congressional hearings of any sort into what really happened.
Is that possible?
Benghazi. You bet it is. If they have a confirmation hearing of Secretary Rice, the first question she's going to be asked is, who wrote those talking points for you? Why did you go out? Even days later, when it was obvious to every housewife in America that it was a terrorist attack, why did you go out and continue to blame a YouTube video? Why did you continue to say it was a flash mob that got out of control?
Okay, KT, thank you. There's a lot more questions on this as you just continue to scratch the surface for what is quickly developing into a changing region. Thank you, KT. Good to see you there.
Thanks.
Okay, Martha.